All right, this is Ray and Jay's reading on April 16th, 2022. So my question to you both is, do you want to know everything?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yay. Okay, right, perfect. Obviously, if I start giving you information, either one of you is like, oh, I don't want to know that. Let me know. But until then, I'm just going to completely surrender to spirit and give you everything that I get. So as soon as I was doing my intention, I'm just going to say this, it was funny because I was like, I set my intention, and basically it's like I asked for my spirit guides, angels, and loved ones to come forward, help me connect from this what to the next. I asked for the information to come through clearly, concisely, and accurately. And then I went in the way that Ray and Jay can understand. And all I heard was, my boys! That's all I could
That's
hear.
great.
That was it. My boys! Oh my God. So I don't know whether she used to call you your boys, her boys, but it was like, oh my God, she got so excited. And I'll just have to backtrack a minute because probably about 20 minutes ago, I was sort of preparing myself and getting ready for the reading, aka getting dressed. And I could feel her energy coming around me. And it was almost like she didn't want to stand and be there around me. And she was like, but I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. And so I want to tell you, super, super excited. Okay, fine. Thank you. She tells me that she's with, and I believe that this is your mom. Can I just ask, did your mom have a lung condition or problems with breathing at the end?
Yes.
Okay, because I'll be honest with you. I actually went downstairs to my husband. I grabbed my drink, and then we were talking about something completely different. And I came in, and I went, and he went, "Oh, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I said, "This is not mine." I said, "I think it's hers because I have not had breathing difficulties for, I want to say, maybe 2 days." And suddenly I went, and I thought, "Oh." I could feel her energy coming in. So let me just establish her because she's super, super excited. Oh my God, she just said, "It's so nice to see you, Lisa." I'm like, oh, bless her. She's showing me that she went very, very frail at the end. She's showing me that she lost a lot of weight and that she went extremely frail. Thank you. And she couldn't have asked for two better people to be around her. Where's the third? Is there a third? Do you have a sister?
Well, I have 3 sisters and her husband also.
Okay, because she's telling me there's another 3 that are missing on here. There's 3, all right? So yeah. I don't know whether that's the 3 sisters or the husband or what, but she's telling me there's another 3. She's like, show me other people are missing. Anyway, but what she's showing me is that she had a wealth of help. She had a wealth of help around her. And there was always someone around her, especially in the last, and you guys knew that she was going to cross. She's showing me that you all knew that this was going to happen. It was like a waiting game. Do you understand this? It was like this long waiting game. And honestly, she just said, it was for me. It was for her. She didn't want to face the fact that she was going. She really didn't want to face that fact, but she knew she was going to go. And she's showing me that people kept vigil. It was like everybody, there was like this, I don't know whether there was a schedule or something, but there was this like bloody schedule that was going on. And she's showing me that she heard you all whispering outside the room. And she's making me aware that there was all these whispers outside of the room. And she's showing me was she at home as well, or in a home-like environment? Because she didn't want to be in the hospital.
Yeah, it was at home.
And she's showing me here that that's okay. I'm holding my drink. She said, "Drink, dear, drink." And I'm like, "No, it's fine." Bless her. It's just a habit I have. But she's more concerned. She says, "You got to look after yourself." So she's more concerned about everybody else than she is about herself. So let me just put that. She just loved everybody else. Thank you. And her family meant the world to her. She's also showing me how the grandchildren, there was obviously grandchildren, and she loved the grandchildren. And she's shown me how, I'm not sure if all the grandchildren came one particular day just before she passed, but it was as though she's showing me that the grandchildren weren't privy to her being really, 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 really bad right at the very end. Okay, and she's grateful for that because she wanted to keep that thank you, sweet grandma image in their heads. All right, that sweet grandma image. Why is she putting her earrings on? Did she always have to wear earrings, or is there so? But it's not anything particular. It's like pearl earrings. I don't know. Does she have to wear like clip-ons or something, or is this someone else?
Don't know. I don't have any association
Not your
with
grandmother,
earrings.
is it?
I
I've
don't
just
know
got
about
like
earrings.
clip-on. All right, remember I said this, but clip-on pearl earrings is what she just showed me. So just remember I said it anyway. But she's referring to the kids as well. So I don't know whether it's one of the kids had fake clip-on earrings, or one of them used to dress up. I'm no idea, but I'm just going to leave it with you. Anyway, she's smart. She's showing me here that she was quite old. She was very old when she passed over, because she's making me aware. Was she in her 90s?
She was mid-80s.
Mid-80s. She feels very old. Did her mom go into an old age as well?
No, her mother died like in 66, and she was she was very young at that time.
She's showing me her mom here as well, but she showed me that your mom shows me that she felt old. She felt like she'd lived her life. That's the only way I can explain it. She felt like she lived her life. She's also showing me her mum being with her, and she's giving me this almost like her mum was her person, like her mum was very important to her. Her mum was just her mom. Thank you. And she's just said, I always spoke about my mom. It was like I always spoke about my mom. I always had there was still things that she did with your mom, with her, or tell you that her mum would have done. So it was almost like there was a constant referring, oh, me and my mum used to do this, oh, my mum would do this. And I almost feel as though it's some kind of followed through in the kitchen. So whether there was like food that she would make that was similar, but she keeps showing me that she would always refer to this. And she's telling me that one of your sisters will know this in particular. So whether one of your sisters has followed this on. Now, where's the birthday? Is there someone's birthday that's coming up right now?
Where are we? April?
What, April?
April 2nd was Karen's birthday.
Is that one of her daughters?
Yes.
Okay, because she's telling me that she wants to give a happy birthday to one of her kids, and it's been because it was important for her not to miss a celebration. It's important for her not to miss a date, and I feel as though she had a date book. It was like everything, she knew when dates were coming up. Thank you. And she's actually making me aware that she would often buy cards or buy things like weeks before. Yes, it was my son's birthday last night, and I bought his card on the way to Walmart. I am not that mom, but she was the one that would have to find the perfect card, the most wordiest card. It was done well in time. And she's showing me how thank you. She's telling me how birthdays always have to be celebrated. And she's also making me aware that you would celebrate her birthday. And I feel as though her birthday is still celebrated. So even though she's been gone, there's still some form of either celebration in the homes, like clinking of the glasses, I don't know, cheers, or just something for mom.
Yep. Because
she's acknowledging that her birthday is still a celebration. And also in respect to her rebirth day, her birth into the spirit world again. Now she's bringing me into a man here. Oh, okay, fine, thank you. Whoa, I don't know where we're going with this. Show me what this is. Show me what this is. Okay, so she's bringing me into her father being in spirit here, but she's shown me that was not always an easy circumstance or an easy situation. And it was, she gives me the word volatile. So I don't know whether it was a difficult circumstance. And she's also making me aware here that there is a gentleman that's also linked to you. So I'm not sure if dad is in spirit, but she gives me that there is a gentleman that is linked. And these two, I feel as though dad and mom obviously weren't together, and there was difficulties. But what she's in making me aware of here is that bygones be bygones, water under the bridge, and she has to recognize him for being there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
She has to recognize him for being there, as being someone who helped, I think, bring you guys into the world. Okay.
Right.
So irrelevant of what your relationship was with your dad, she's shown me it wasn't, or her relationship, it wasn't easy. She's shown me it was difficult, if I can say that. She wants you to know that there has been some form of, thank you, the word is understanding between her and your dad. Okay.
Right.
And she just said, and I know that this is not about him, this is about me and other things, but she wanted to, your mum is very inclusive. She wants to include people. You understand that? It's like, she just couldn't, I feel as though your mum never had enemies.
Right.
She couldn't have enemies. She was just too genuine. Now, she does want to mention her husband here, who I feel was very special to her. You know, this was someone who was a very, thank you. She said, he took me as I am. He took me as I am. But is he getting quite old now? I don't know whether he's getting forgetful or something.
He's in his 70s, but he's not forgetful.
Why am I being shown the forgetfulness? Was it her that was forgetful?
Yeah, she
okay.
She had dementia.
That's what it was, because she's showing me him, and she gave me the word forgetful. And I was like, why are you showing me this forgetfulness? Because she's giving me this. And it's funny because she made me feel like he was younger, like that was her pride and joy. That was like, hey, I got a younger man.
Yeah, she was a cougar.
Oh, how many years difference was there?
I think 12 or something.
Oh, she just said 12.
Oh, yeah. What did she?
Yeah, she just literally said 12 as I said, how many years? And she went 12 and you said 12. So it's funny because she just winked as if to say, oh yeah. But she was forgetful. And here's the interesting thing is she's showing me it was a very, very tough situation for her. She didn't like, okay, fine. She doesn't want to talk about it. I'm just going to tell you right now, she doesn't want to talk about the dementia. I started to talk about it and she's like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, okay, fine. So that just shows me that, and I'll just put it into my words, that this is a very proud woman who didn't want to talk about it, didn't want to talk about getting old, didn't want to talk about, I want to say, losing her faculties. But she had the most charming man. You know, her husband was very, very charming and loved her more than life itself. You know, it was such a, and she's actually thanking you for welcoming him into the family. Now, here's the interesting part. Did one of you have words with him when he came into the family, like, not mess with my mom and you mess with me, but kind of, there was some words?
Well, my sisters were concerned about him marrying her, so there were some issues with that. Okay,
because she's showing me that someone had some issues with him initially, and it was like, you know, hey, I have some issues and we're going to talk about it, you know. But actually, thank you, she just said, but he's shown his worth. So he's shown his worth, and I feel as though it's like she's just saying, make sure he's always included, make sure he's always included. And it's really beautiful because she absolutely adored that man, absolutely adored him. And there's a dog in spirit with her. I'm just going to let you know there's a dog with her. Did she or did someone else have a dog? Oh, hold on, there's a dog. Oh, let me just work it out here.
I don't think there ever was a dog that was important to her.
No, but Ray, did you have a dog?
I did, yes.
Oh, Ray's dog.
Did she love your dog?
She liked
tolerated
him.
it.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
There's a dog here. There's a dog, all right? And it's a bigger dog. It's a fairly bigger dog. And she brought it through, and I was like, there's a dog here. And it's funny because I'm also feeling Merv as well.
Oh,
Oh my
I'm
God.
feeling Merv.
I have a few things to say to him.
And you know what? He just went, he said, don't start. He held his hands up and went, don't start.
Can we go back to the dog for a second?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the dog. Let me go back to the dog.
I need to know why he died.
Okay, let me go back to the dog. All right, what was his name?
Jagger.
That's right. Now, he was a bigger dog. Well, let me tell you what the dog I've got here. This dog is kind of a bigger kind of, I don't know whether a gingery or brownie color, but kind of I'm surprised that my dog hasn't actually come and jumped on the sofa there, but it's like it's kind of a bigger dog, and he's got more of a shaggier coat. There's kind of a longer hair. It's not short hair.
Yep.
So my dog's a pit bull, so it's short hair, but this has kind of got longer hair. And he just passed away. He just went. Is that right?
Yes.
Literally just poof, gone. I almost feel as though he fell asleep and went.
Yeah, it was just so mysterious.
You know what keeps coming to me here is his heart. Had he had heart problems or a heart?
No, he was getting older.
Right.
But the big issue was that I was about to move to Chicago and couldn't take him with me, so I had a friend take care of him, and the next day he died. So I'm not sure if he died from a broken heart.
I was going to say that might have been the broken heart. Is that my little boy? It was the heart. It was like it was a heart attack. It was like it was a heart thing. It's funny because as I'm connecting him with the dog, it's like, not that dogs, I mean, dogs do have sad faces, their eyes tell us everything, but it's like he had a sad face when you mentioned you leaving. And I actually have a feeling it was because of the broken heart. That makes you feel awful, I know, Ray, and I'm sorry, but
how's he feeling now?
Let me tell you right now, he's like, he didn't want to live for you. He didn't want to live without you because he lived for you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And he lived for you and you lived for him. And I feel as though he was the king of the castle.
Yep.
In your place. I feel like he had, he keeps taking me into the garage for some reason. So it's like he's shown me that he's the king of the castle. I feel as though he almost had his own throne, or it was such an important place. But his heart, it was this heart, but he's happy now. I mean, his tail's wagging. I've just felt as though, and in fact it was your mom that was bringing him through, making sure that you brought him through. Oh, why did Merv say I'm sorry about the royalties? Is there an issue with royalties?
Well, he had told us that that in his will he had put in there that we could have a job for at least the next 10 years, and that we would be getting royalties from the crossword show and from your show, and I think those are the two. And his lawyers screwed up the deal, and basically there was no royalties to have.
Right, because he's sorry about the royalties, and it was not something, all of a sudden it was like, I just felt it. All of a sudden it's like, he just said, I'm sorry about the royalties. And it wasn't his doing. It wasn't his,
That's correct.
It wasn't his doing. And I've heard the name, I can't remember his attorney's names, but he gives me the name Rob. And he's blaming Rob.
Wow. Yep.
Which actually, he's just said, which is hard to say that I'm blaming Rob, but I am.
No, yeah, I mean, we were supposed to, he died right before Crosswords was about to go into its second season, and Rob screwed up the deal and it never made a second season.
Oh, okay, that's the reason why. Because he's saying, I'm sorry about Rob, and he blames Rob. And he actually realized he didn't have the right team. And in all fairness, he thought he had the right team at some point, but he didn't like to fire people, and he wanted to keep people on at goodwill. And he's saying there were a lot of things that happened. He said there was a lot of things that happened in that circumstance, in that situation, that he's apologizing for. And here's the interesting part, is he's showing me that Tony shouldn't have got what he got anyway either.
And he thought
that wasn't handled well.
He actually talked about that before he died. He said he didn't want to give Tony his fortune. He didn't want to leave it to him.
No, he didn't. He actually wanted it spread, and he had got it shared. He'd actually got it shared amongst people. He'd got it shared amongst people. He got it shared into a way, and he's showing me that it was put into trust. There was a trust.
Yeah.
But it was shared inadequately and incorrectly. And those were his words. And it's funny because I had to hesitate on those words, because he said, "You get it right, Lisa." And I'm like, okay, I'll get it right. I'll make sure of it. But it's actually quite interesting. Sorry, I need to blow my nose. You guys don't need to hear this.
Jagger.
Okay, sorry, you didn't need to hear that. You saw it, but you didn't need to see it here.
We enjoyed it though.
Oh, I'm glad. My nose is red. It's crazy. Okay, so let me. And you know what? It's funny because I do, and I don't want to stay too long on Merv, because then I want to go back to your mom and the dog, and there's somebody else around. But Merv wants to tell you how much he loved you like a son. He loved you because you actually, yes, okay, initially it was all money, it was prestige and working with Merv Griffin, but actually the two, you and Andrew, had you cared for Merv. It wasn't just about this.
Right.
And it wasn't just about how you can elevate yourselves. You genuinely cared. And he's saying that is a quality that not many people were showing him at the time.
Right.
Because all he had around him was people who wanted to succeed and wanted to elevate themselves.
And it was very hard for him to trust us, because he didn't know if we were in for that as well or
That's
not.
right. And he's showing me that he cared for you because there was no thank you. He's just said, you earned my loyalty, and you kept his loyalty, and his loyalty was so important. His loyalty was so important. 1 second, he can come up if he wants. My dog's trying to come up. But it's and it's so funny because I'm feeling Jagger trying to go and sniff.
Oh, I'm
it's
sure.
So funny. And that's why I was like, oh, he can come up if he wants. But I'm feeling Jagger trying to go and play. And I almost was expecting George to kind of bark, because he actually senses spirit. He actually senses dogs.
That's amazing.
Let me ask you, do you know if Merv's dog's pet? Oh, he probably has now, but because Merv's got his dog there.
Yeah, Charlie Chan.
How funny is that?
I would imagine he died by now, yes.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I offered to take him.
But he didn't like where he went.
No, he didn't, because he went with the dog walker guy, Ronnie.
Yeah, he didn't like where he went. So, and he said, I didn't like where he went. Anyway, he said, I'm going to leave you for a second. He said, but I want to come. And he's telling me how adorable your mum is. And your mum's all like charmed by Merv. Bless him.
Oh yeah,
Bless him.
he called her in the hospital once.
Oh, really? Oh my God. She's so charmed by him.
Sorry, my computer's saying we're going to lose the connection, so I have to buy a subscription.
Let me do it. He's a great, I was going to say a great kid, but he's a great boy because he's sitting there like waiting for George to come back. George is not going to come back because Daddy's got George. But yeah, he's waiting. It's like he's waiting. So, and I feel as though Jagger loved to play with other dogs, loved to be around other dogs, and which is funny because George does not normally play with other dogs. But yeah, it's like he's waiting to play with other dogs, and he's all very excited. But I do feel as though it was his heart. I'm just going to tell you. Yeah, it was his heart. Yeah, sorry. And actually, in all fairness, I feel as though you rescued him, he rescued you. And you know, his mission, I'll be honest with you, his mission, his purpose in life was actually to be there for you. And his purpose in life was actually to be there for you to accelerate. And his purpose was done then at that point. And I think that's the reason why he went. And there was no pain. And I'm going to tell you right now, there was no pain. You know, you need to know that. But you haven't got another dog. And he said, you haven't got another dog. And he's like, he'll always be your dog. So it's funny. He'll always be it. Okay. Well, I ever got a cat here as well. I got cats as well. Jay, did you have cats too?
I've had cats too.
Because there's like 6 of them.
Oh my gosh.
I don't do cats, but there's like 6 of them. So it makes sense as to why I've got cats. Was one of them light or whitey color?
White with gray spots.
Yeah, so I've got a very light one, and the tail's just gone up with a little flick at the end or curve at the end. It's so funny.
One's tailed, yeah.
Yeah, tall tail with a curve. And it's funny because it's like the cat wants to jump on me, wants to sit on my either shoulder or just be on me. And I feel shedding would be ridiculous because all of a sudden I feel like the cat would shed. So it's just interesting. And the cat is tormenting Jagger. So the cat would torment other things. So I feel as though this one cat would be all high and mighty, you know, I am the God kind of thing. But it's so funny. It really is. And your mom wants to make sure that everyone's fed. It's so weird because she wants to make sure all the cats are fed and all the dogs are fed. But I feel as though it's representative of making sure that she always had to feed everybody, making sure that she was always feeding people. Now, where's something about her rings or her jewelry? Has that been spread out across the family?
I don't think so yet.
She's showing me it's all in one place, but it needs to be spread out across the family. Yeah, because she's showing me it all needs to be spread out, and what she's showing me is her house is like I don't want to call a shrine to her, but it feels like it's you walk in and it's her everywhere.
It is.
Who's Peter?
Say that again.
Peter. I just heard the name Peter. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to put it to one side. And it may not be anything for you. But I just heard the name Peter. And I kept getting the name Arthur as well. I don't know why. So let's just ignore my names. My names might be really crap today. But what's her husband's name? Barry. Barry or Barry? Barry, okay. Oh, she's just gone, oh. Yeah, she loves him. She loves him so much. He's a really good man, although he's not been feeling 100% recently. Either he's not been feeling well or he's not been 100%. He's changed since she's gone. You know, he really has changed since she's gone. Does he need to get out more?
Yeah.
Because she just keeps saying he needs to get out more. He needs to get out, and there's something about the making sure that the garden is together, and because she's wanting to make sure that the yard is pretty, like flowers and blooming, and she likes a pretty house. You understand that? It's
She
like
was always very much about that.
but it's not like that right now. Well, I mean, it's winter, but you know, she's showing me that it's not winter, it's spring, but she's showing me she wants to make sure that the outside of the house is nice. And she's also telling me that there's talk of selling it, or there has been talk of either what you're going to do with it. All right. So has there been talk of what you're going to do with it at some point? And I want you to know that she's okay with you getting rid of it. It's okay. It's okay with being shared, because a house like that needs to be shared. A house like that needs to have love in it. Does that make sense? Because she is all about having her house. And Ray, did you live with her for a period of time? Because she's telling me how your room is still the same. Okay. I'm assuming that you don't live there now, but she's showing me that your room is still the same. And she loved to have the family around her. And it's as though she's showing me a memory of all sitting around a dining table and having family around, whether it was like a Thanksgiving or just a big family time. But she loves the family all being around. And you guys haven't done a family gathering in a while, and she would like that to happen. Okay, because she's showing me, was it this Thanksgiving that people were at different places?
Yeah, because we had part of us together. Yeah,
I was going to say not all of you were there though.
No, not all of us.
It's been a while, because she would like that again. And she said, well, maybe on the birthday. And I'm like, so she's still ruling the roost from the other side. So she's still in control. Now, she's also talking about you all having a particular photograph of her. It's like you all have one photograph of her. You all have many photographs probably, but have you all got one photograph that's been shared and everybody's got it? I'm sure you have. Don't worry, whichever one it is. She just keeps and she has to have her hair done. It's making sure that her hair is particular as well. She didn't like how she lost weight, but she keeps showing me soup, and I'm not sure if Barry, served her soup. It was like constant soup. She's also showing me she didn't like how she was at the end. And she's having to apologize about how she was, because she got frustrated. You understand that? It was like she got very frustrated, she was angry at herself. Okay, very angry at herself. And I'm not sure if she forgot things or forgot names or forgot people and things like that, but she didn't like that. And she got very angry. She changed. She showed me that she changed and she didn't like it. And she's showing me that she's very pleased that you all remember her as the sweetheart, but she didn't like how, and I'm going to put this into context because as Lisa, I'm going to have to. She's saying she didn't like how she changed. How it feels for me is that yes, she changed, but she wasn't nasty. You understand that? She wasn't mean, she wasn't nasty. But for her, because she was so sweet, any form of upset was hard for her. Do you understand that? So in our mind, if we're effing and blinding and at someone, then yes, we've changed. But she wouldn't even go to that extreme, but she was snipey and she lost her temper quicker than she used to. And that's what she's shown me. She's shown me this battle, and she's calling it a battle, didn't actually last as long as it could have done. So I'm not sure if it was only a period of 2 years that it was okay. 2 years with the tough times, because she's shown me it was only a short period of time. It didn't go on for like 20 years. Does that make sense? Because she's showing me that this was that was important. And here's the other part of it, is she's showing me that somebody else in the family may have had it. So did somebody else have dementia, like her grandmother or someone else?
Not that we know of.
Or her sister?
Yeah,
Don't think it was as severe, but she's showing me that someone else did, and she just highlighted a sister, and I'm assuming her sister's in spirit. Is that right? Because she's bringing me in with a sister, or she's coming in with a sister. Now, earlier on, just before I started the reading, before I got on here, I kept thinking, who's Mary? And when you said Mary, because I know her name is Anna Mae, isn't it? Is Anna Mae? All right. So I was like, no, there's the Mary, Mary May. But it makes sense because I kept hearing May's with me, and I was like, who Mary's with me? Who's Mary? And I was like, yeah. And I just got the two association. Anyway, let me go back into this. Oh, bless her. She's just said, can you tell them how much I love them and how much she is so proud of both of you, and in fact all of them, all of you. But she's also telling me she really loved her send-off, you know, whether it was a funeral or something like that, but she showed me how she really loved her send-off. And was there like a movie that was created for her, or like some okay, because she talks about the movie, how she loved the movie, and even though you didn't get to play it, people have seen it. Okay, you've shown it, and she talks about this movie being fabulous, and I'm assuming you did it, Ray, but of course, you know, hey, who knows? But yeah, she showed me this movie, and this movie being everything from, you know, the old movies that looked a little bit grainy through to more modern day, because she's shown me how some of you were it was like, I don't know whether you were opening Christmas gifts or something, but it's like I feel as though they're the old movies. And she's also telling me that she loves the music that you chose for it, because she loved music. You know, she loved music. She loved music. And I feel in her day, she loved to dance too. You know, I feel like in her day, she was very, very glamorous, very, just very glamorous, very much. I want to dance. I feel as though she could have been on the silver screen. She could have been that very, you know, she had that way about her. And she was just elegant, very, very, very elegant. But here's the interesting thing. She was all about her kids. She was all about her kids. Her purpose was to be a mom. Her purpose was to be a mom, a grandmother, a great grandmother maybe, but it was like her purpose was to create homes. That's what her purpose was. She may have gone up, she could have been a career person, but that was her purpose. And she is so grateful for the family staying together. And I don't feel as though you're all in the same. I do feel as though you're all in the same location, but she's showing me that you're not all in the same location. It's really weird. So I feel that you're all fairly close to each other, like maybe within 3 hours, but she's shown me you're not close together. So it makes me feel like she probably would have thought driving an hour or two is kind of like a long distance, almost like an English thing. Anything over 20 minutes in England, you're taking a picnic, and it's true. But I feel like you're close enough, but you're not close enough in her world. Okay, do you see what I mean? I just feel as though you're all close, but you're not close enough, and that's what she keeps showing me. But she's saying that she realizes that they have to live their own life. And is this somebody in like a warmer climate, like Florida or California? I know that you used to be, Ray, but
Julie's in Arizona.
Okay, so someone's in a warmer climate, and she said, "Good for him." And she stuck a thumb up, almost like I think it was a big deal for him to go. I think it was a big, big, big deal. And she's saying good for him for doing what he wants. Is he at college by any chance? All right. For some reason, what was that?
Well, there's Julie's in Arizona, but then Jake is in Colorado.
Okay. Is someone in college or doing some form of learning?
My daughter Tasha's in college, and she's doing great in college.
It's your kids then, because she's acknowledging the kids in college.
Okay.
And she's showing me how she's very proud of them. And can you let them know? And I almost feel like she wants to give them all $100. It's so weird. I don't know why. So you might have to get your wallet out. But she's showing me how she's very proud of them, of following their pathway, following their truth, following what they want to do. Because them being in college is very important. Now, is there a birthday coming up in June or July? Okay, who's that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because she wants to make sure that those two birthdays are celebrated. Are they kind of big birthdays?
Mine's 56, and Christy's 57. I
don't know, but she's showing me that she wants to make sure that you celebrate, whether it's together, but make sure that you celebrate those birthdays. And then also she's talking about gathering together in September. I don't know whether there's other celebrations. Just remember I said this. Just remember that. Okay. Now, if you can pass on a message to Barry. She's just said, can you just tell him how much I love him and how much I hear him? Because she's showing me how she knows that all of you talk to her, because why wouldn't you? But Barry might think that he's going a little bit crazy talking to her. So it's like, let her know that she hears him. Has he had some form of sickness, like stomach sickness recently?
Not that I know of.
Or food allergies or something?
He's been in Florida. I don't know. He went to Florida with Christy.
Oh, I was like, why am I seeing... Okay. I was like, why am I seeing Florida?
He got pretty sunburned in Florida.
Okay. I don't know whether he's felt a little off color. Nothing serious, but I just feel a little bit, literally off color. I just feel a bit weird with my stomach when I talk about him. It's so weird. But she's just said, I'm so glad that he's having a good time. It's funny because I was just thinking about that. I was just trying to find those. Now, she gives music as one of the signs. So I feel as she gives definitely music as one of the signs. And birds. What's the birds? Do you ever see the birds like a cardinal or robin or, I don't know, birds, eagles? It could be anything, birds. She's also showing me that one of the daughters saw a rainbow, or there was something about rainbows as well. But she also, and all I'm seeing is like 1111. I'm seeing like repeating numbers. So you may find that someone sees those repeating numbers. Why have you all got a piece of her clothing? Something about her clothing. Something about her clothing that she keeps bringing me into. And I'm almost feeling as though either somebody's going to make like a pillowcase of her with her tops or something like that. I just feel as though something's going to be made. I don't know why. But she's showing me here that it's very important that you make sure that God, I can't explain it. It's very important that it's almost as though she's telling me, she's preparing you guys. It's like she's preparing you for sorting her stuff out, preparing you for her stuff being sorted. And she wants pieces to go to all of you, because she's showing me it's about time it got done. Sorry. And she realizes that she could hoard a little bit, you know, that she might have been a bit of a hoarder. I don't know. I don't know that side of her. Could she be a hoarder? In the right way, she's saying, in the right way. Yeah.
Yeah.
She says, well, some of us would think it's junk, but she knows that the time is coming for it to be sorted out. She also knows the time is coming for that property to possibly leave. Sorry. So are you thinking about selling that property? Right. Okay. So there's something about, I feel some of it might be, it might be something that he's thinking about. Okay. Might be something that he's thinking about. So I want you to know, if it comes up, don't be surprised. Okay. Just remember I said that. Yeah. Because I actually feel like he's selling it. And if I just show you what I'm kind of seeing, I see that he's going to sell it, downsize, or maybe live with one of the girls. Because I feel as though he might actually go and live with one of the girls.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Whatever he does with that money, then that's it. But I just feel as though she is very particular that she wants some of her stuff spread out. She wants her stuff spread out. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's up to you what you want to do with it. And she doesn't care, but it's like she wants it spread out. She said, oh, it's so nice to see you. She's like,
yeah.
She says, oh, Ray. Oh, Ray. Of course. That was her biggest thing. That was one of her biggest things. She, very religious, very, very religious, but that was one of her biggest things. This is interesting. She said, it's all about belief. And it's all about perspective. And she just said, and he was there waiting. Some would have walked past him, not realizing who he is. But he's waiting there for everyone. But it's all perspective. Oh, that's interesting. She said there's a whole philosophical side and a whole wealth of information there. But it is all about your perspective on life. And how you live your life is dependent on who is waiting for you. Oh, that's interesting. She said, "Oh, you're still holding on to that?" It was like, were you a kid? Yeah, well, you were a kid in her eyes. Because she's saying, and you're still going on about that? Did it get stolen? I got told it was stolen. Was it in the garage or something, or like a shed?
Funny.
Yeah, she's showing me it was stolen. So whether you had left it there and it was stolen somewhere, had you gone to the park or something? So you have no memory, but you have the memory of the bike. She's showing me it was stolen. And I can only go with that. But she's shown me it was stolen. Oh, God. She said, and let's leave it at that. Pies. Did she make pies? She just made me a pie. It's so random. But she just wanted me to have a pie. I don't know why. But yeah.
Karen wants to know, is God in heaven everything you imagined?
If what?
Is God and heaven everything you imagined it to be?
She went, oh, and so much more. Oh my God. So she just threw her hands up in the air and went, and so much more. She said, it's beautiful. Heaven is a magical place. But I always imagined it would be. And I was met by all my friends and my family and relatives. And everybody that loves me. He's still the same. And I feel as though there's a rolling of the eyes with that. He's still the same. Was that her brother by any chance? Because she just shows me, oh, he's still the same. But then I feel this massive squeeze with him. Like, did he pass too young as well? Like that was a real tragic passing, because she's showing me here he's still the same, and it's just this warmth, and I feel as though there's so much love there. She has everybody around her.
I was going to ask about Jennifer too.
Was she young, or very like a baby? Because earlier on I kept thinking, who's this baby in spirit that I've got? This little tiny little thing. Was that her daughter?
Yes.
Because she's showing me she's got her daughter. She's got her baby. And she also shows me that there was nothing more that she couldn't. I feel as though your mom held guilt about her passing, but she also realizes there was nothing to be guilty for. It was circumstantial. But yeah, she said they're all here. Now, was the baby the last born? No, it wasn't the last born, was it? It was it between? Ray, were you after the baby? Okay, I knew that you were one of either side, but she showed me that the baby's there as well. And as Christy, because the soul is not, it's really weird. 100%. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to say it. It sounds weird. But yeah, because it's split. Yeah, because she showed me, I was like, I'm seeing this baby, but it didn't feel, I didn't know how to explain it, but it didn't feel whole in that way. Yeah, that's the reason why. Yeah, that's the reason why. Oh, she's just given me a big hug, your mom has. Oh my God, she just put her arms around me and she's just given me a big squeeze. Okay, what other questions do you have? I want to make sure that I still have her while you have questions.
Is Lisa there?
Lisa, a sister-in-law?
My wife, my late wife.
Ah, okay. Because I was, all right, so I've got, can I do one thing? Because I have her here, but I need to let your mom step away from that because your mom overtakes. Does that make sense? It's like your mom leads everything. So do you have anything for mom? Because I want to kind of not push her away, but I want to make sure I get Lisa. Anything else for mom? She said you couldn't have made her more happy. You couldn't have made her more happy. Did Lisa have cancer? Okay, where's the cancer over on the other side? Okay, all right. I just had a lot of cancer going on here. Okay, let me just push her to one side and let me bring in. Oh my God. Okay, so
You're gonna lose me.
why am I going to lose you?
To tears.
Oh, that's okay. She's coming in. She's showing me that it's in fact actually your mom is pushing her forward. Lisa was the type of person that would never want to take the limelight. Lisa was the type of person who would always be, no, you go first. This is all about you. So, because I actually was like, well, why didn't you come in first? And she's just said, this wasn't about me. This was about your mom. And then she was going to wait.
Yeah.
And she loved you more than life itself. I'm just going to tell you right now, she loved you more than life itself. She knew that she was going to pass. But here's the interesting part. She passed very suddenly. All right. She passed super suddenly, but she kind of knew in her head that she either wasn't going to have a longer life or that she wasn't, something was going on, or she'd had these thoughts. She's not the type of, couple of days before, because she's showing me that she was not going to share it with anybody. All right. And she was very careful who she shared it with. She also wants to bring through the children. She wants to acknowledge the children because the children are important to her. She's very proud of how you have handled the children, even though you don't feel you have handled it well. You understand that? She wants you to know that you have handled the children exceptionally well and you're an amazing father. Okay? And she's saying, and she's wagging her finger almost to say, and don't you tell me otherwise. So she's wagging her finger in that way. Now, why is she giving me a plate set? Like a dinner set? Either there's a particular plate set that you have, or she used to, I don't know why she's giving me this dinner set.
I don't know. I still have some of the china from our wedding, but
okay, it might be that, but I feel like there's some plate set that she keeps giving me.
well, no, I don't know.
Don't worry about it. I have no idea. Was it her mom's by any chance? Or did her mum buy it? I don't know. I'm going to leave it with you.
Okay.
Anyway, was it recently her birthday as well?
January 26th.
Oh, that's so funny because she kept showing me a celebration on her wedding, on her birthday. My wedding anniversary is January 26th.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, why are you showing me a celebration on your birthday? And I knew it had passed earlier on in the year, and it doesn't make sense to me, but my wedding anniversary is January 26th. Thanks. We got married twice. I married the same man twice. I must have been silly, but there you go. I love him very much. So, but she's showing me here that that you celebrated her wedding, her birthday, but she's showing me here that when she passed, she didn't have long to kind of get her head around it. She's showing me that she didn't have long. And she's showing me how okay, fine. She's actually just said to me, she said she knows how you lost it. Okay. And she's saying it's okay. She's very proud of you. And she's saying, and you've rebuilt your life. You rebuilt your life. And she's making me aware here that has this been fairly recent in the last couple of years?
What?
Her passing?
Oh, her passing was 13 years ago.
Okay. Has something new happened for you in the last 2 years?
Yeah, I remarried it 2 years ago.
Okay, that's what it is. Because she kept showing me.
Or in 2019, sorry.
Okay, because she kept showing me that something's happened. Well, we might as well wipe out one whole year because I think we all got,
Yeah.
But she's showing me something new happened for you recently, and she's very pleased for you. And she's making me aware here that this was a brand new start. This was a brand new start. This was a brand new way. And actually, she wants to say something to your new wife, almost as though, if you can pass this message on. She's saying, thank you for loving you. Thank you for taking you on through your hurt. And she appreciates how much she's honored in the family. So she's still honored. There might be a picture up of her. There might be something, but she's still honored in the family. And that is something of very significance, because she shows me that is very, very, very important to her. But she's talking about how when she went, you held it together, you pulled it together, but she's saying that you weren't sure whether to date again.
No.
You weren't sure. And it was as though everybody was trying to encourage you. And she's saying, good. She's really pleased that you did.
Yeah.
Now, why is she bringing me roses, like red roses?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know why, but she's bringing me red roses. Can symbolize a birthday and anniversary for me, but I just keep wanting to bring red roses to you, though, for some reason. Okay. So I'm not sure what this is, so I'm going to leave it with you. And also, she likes how she was honored. Who has a tattoo for her?
The girls, both girls.
Right, okay.
Well, Jason does too. Jason does, her children, okay. All three of her children.
Okay, because she's showing me that there's tattoos for her as well. And she loves how she's being honored. And also, has one of her children got children? One of your kids got, you're no. Not, oh.
Not that I know of.
Okay. She's just showing me how there is a thought that her name will carry on.
Good.
So whether her children are thinking about having children or have thought, hey, when, I have children, I'm going to use my mom's name, but she's showing me how her name will continue, And she's excited. Are you planning a summer vacation somewhere? She's pleased about this vacation that you're thinking about taking.
Yeah, we were thinking about going to Washington, D.C., just me and the kids, yeah.
Because she's saying you work too much and she's wanting you to take the vacation.
Okay.
It's about time.
Okay.
She's actually thanking you for being the most caring husband. She's saying, I know that we had our issues, you know, everyone does, but she's saying you were someone who she was very grateful for knowing and for being able to love. Were you childhood sweethearts or together from a very young age?
Yeah.
Because she's
Yeah.
shown me that you grew
College
up
age.
together.
College
I felt like you grew up. I felt like weren't like you and my husband and I, where you know, I was in my 40s, he was in his late 30s, and we were just coming together. It was like you
Yeah.
grew up together. And she's shown me how that was so important, and it was as though you grew up and you both did your own thing, and she's very proud of you. Do you run your own business?
No, not really. I mean, there's like a side thing that I do that just I earn a few dollars from, but no, not really.
Well, okay, so you kind of do run your own business, but she's saying to me that you should make more of your own business.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, okay?
Okay.
But you should make more of your own business. But she loves you so much. She really does. And can you make sure that the kids know that she's been around?
Okay.
The kids, she loves the kids so much. And were one of the children quite young when she passed?
The twins were 8 years old and Jason was 10. Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
We were all young.
Yeah, because she's showing me how the kids were quite young, and she's appreciating. She's just appreciating how much it was hard for them. But here's what's interesting: she did say that you promised to make sure that you was not going to marry, or you weren't going to be with somebody else per se, until that they were at college or out of school or something. Do you know what I mean? And she's saying, and you kept that.
Yeah.
And she's thankful. You know, you dedicated yourself to being a dad.
Yeah.
And she's saying she's pleased about it. Now, you might have met this person before beforehand, and they've been involved in their lives, but it was like you wanted to make sure that you gave them everything before you went on with your life. And that, she's saying, you're a very good man. And she loves you so much.
Thank you.
And she always will. She always will. And she says, and I know how much you love me.
Is she sending us signs?
Do you get the feathers?
Yep. That's what we think.
Okay, so here's the funny thing.
Yeah.
So here's the funny thing. When Ray asked about the signs for Mom, I was seeing the feather, but I was like, that's not Mom. And I kept seeing feathers, and I was like, yeah, but that's not Mom giving me that. And then all of a sudden I went feathers, and she was like, that's me.
Oh, okay.
So that's her.
Okay. We
The
kind of
feathers.
see birds of prey. It's kind of the same.
Is that the eagle?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
That's what it is. Because
Yeah,
earlier on I felt feathers, and I felt like someone has got a feather. And I also kept feeling, when I said birds for your mom, I was being shown little birds, but then all of a sudden I went, why am I seeing an eagle as well? So that makes sense. The eagle, the hawk, that kind of thing. So yeah,
okay.
There you go. And she's just gone, mwah. Do you have any questions for her?
Oh my gosh. I don't think so.
Honestly, she just wants you to know how happy she is for you. She says she sees you every single day, especially on your drive to work. Do you ever talk to her at work, on the way to work, in the car? But she's saying that she talks to you on the way to work.
Thank you.
Yeah. She's there. Any other questions for both of you?
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, you're welcome. Bless them. Both of them just said that they just thanked me. That's very sweet of them. I'm so glad that I could bring them in. Yeah, I am so glad. Let me just stop this.